Last week we learned about the Northwest Coast American Indians and the way that they make special designs called form lines. This one is called the ovoid. This is the U shape. This is the inner ovoid right here. This is a thin line. This one's the trigon, which is not colored in, just like the crescent and the circle. What we're going to do today is we're going to experiment with these lines, but also with other lines, free-form lines that we'll turn into form lines and see just what we can do. So we're not going to actually draw a picture of anything. We're just going to doodle and just see what these lines can do. Here's a drawing that I've done, and you can see I did use all of these elements. There's an ovoid here and a U shape. Got several over here. The inner ovoid, a trigon I have right here, the crescent here, and the circle. Well, there's several circles, but yeah, those are the primary ones. And then, of course, the thin lines. I've put a lot of thin lines in here, too. So I just want you to put a lot of form lines together and see what they can do. A good way to start a form line is just to make a line that curves. Then go back into that line and decide where it's going to be really thick and where it's going to be thin. So now I have a form line. If I wanted to, I could put a circle inside that, or a crescent, or a trigon, so that when I fill it in, that part I won't fill in. Next, I like to make a line that fits in with this one nicely. Okay, so I start with that line, and then I go in and I do the second line, making it thicker in some places and thinner in other places. Sometimes I change it after I've drawn it. I think that's just a little rough. So I might go back and make a little change to it, reshape it a bit. I'm working with marker today because I want you to be able to see what I'm doing, but you are welcome to use pencil or crayon or colored pencil, even a pen, if that's all you can find. But experimenting with form lines is a lot of fun. All right, I don't want to spend all my time coloring this in so that you have to watch that, because I want you to be drawing instead of watching me for a long time. So I'm going to move on, and I'm going to draw another one here. That's just so much fun to draw these lines. Make it thick and thin and thick and thin. So now I've got another form line. Sometimes it's easy to get lost in what's the form line and what's the in-between places. Just try to make things that fit nicely together. They should kind of nest together nicely. if you can, try to put in those elements that we talked about. I might be able to fit an ovoid in, maybe right about here. But I'm probably going to want to expand that a little bit. Maybe I'll do a U shape here. And then I think I'm going to put something in here. Okay. I'm getting far enough along that I want to start thinking about where I could add some thin lines. Those thin lines, they can be all by themselves or they can attach to a shape. But adding in the thin lines, I think, really takes the design to another level. Let me put one in here. I'm going to make it attach. So it touched that line, the form line, in two different places. And then I'm going to put another one in there that's all by itself. So it doesn't touch anything. So you really kind of need to fill it in so you can see that full effect. Oh no, I went outside the line, so I'm just going to go back and expand it a little bit to cover up my little mistake. Okay, so then this will be filled in. I've got a lot of coloring to do here, and I just really want to finish that up later, but I want you to see how this looks with the form lines in there. Okay, another great thing to do, when you've got space in between two form lines, you can draw a line in there and then create another form line that sneaks in a smaller space in between. Now, I've got another space here where I've got a little bit of room in between two. Maybe I'll get fancy with this one. Ooh, I could put a circle here. And another one here. Okay, I think it'd be nice to put a little extension here. And I'm going to put one of those trigons. Sometimes I get carried away and I cover up my trigon when I'm coloring in and you can't see it at all. Okay, I don't really like the way that flows now. The shape, I'm going to kind of adjust that. Make it have a, there, I like that better. Okay, so what I really want you to do is spend some quality time experimenting with form lines. I've got a lot of coloring to do still, and I'm probably going to end up adding a whole bunch more details before I get to something like this. So really experiment, have fun. I would love it if you could send a copy of your picture in to your art teacher, because we really want to see your artwork.